Dear Elijah and Elena, stay smart or be smart. Stay motivated about being smart about your money. Stay motivated or be motivated about being smart with your money. The older that I have gotten, so I'm 35 now, and I probably say it started when I was about 18 or 19 or something like that, maybe 17 years ago or something. My father and second mother, so your grandparents, became big on Dave Ramsey and financial peace. And if any of you all know about Dave Ramsey and his Financial Peace University and his Ramsey Network, he has his daughter working with him, like Rachel Cruz. He has a guy named Chris Hodge, who I like a lot. I think Anthony O'Neill, and I think John Delaney, and a couple other people. Ken somebody whose their names are failing. There's another guy named Ken something, and another lady. But anyway, if you know Dave Ramsey, you know his thing is he has a couple of different sayings. One of his big ones is living like no one else. Like today, living like no one else, so later on you can live like no one else, which is pretty smart if you think about it. Because a lot of people, I forgot what's the statistics, but a lot of people are in debt, and it's been like that for decades, right? Because especially with the invention of the debit card and credit card, or credit card especially, and getting loans out the wazoo and all that stuff, and especially when you're in college. I don't know if it's still legal or not, but back when I was in college, this is 03 to 08, credit card companies could send you a credit card like immediately. I'm not sure if it was when you were hit 18 or 21, but they definitely sent it out. And the thing is that they did it because they knew in college most of us were broke. For those of us who might have had a scholarship or two, and you had a little bit of money. I don't think most of us bought anything stupid. Maybe stupid was like video games or something, but most of us were just buying something to eat, a lot of times anyway. And so anyway, the thing is that became just not really good. Even if it was legal, it was kind of immoral, because you knew college kids were, many of us, and it's not to say excuse college kids, right? Because you should be smarter about your money. And many times if you're raised in a household with parents that are smart about their money, many times that child will hopefully be smart about their money. But kids are kids, teenagers are teenagers, even at 18 or 19. So they can still make bad decisions, and even old people make bad decisions. Anyway, that's beside the point. Point being is my parents got big on Dave Ramsey, and they got big on me being out of debt because they knew that I made bad decisions when I was in college, lost scholarships, got student loans, went into debt, wasn't able to pay off student loans until recently, which was really by the grace of a family member. So they were really a blessing to me. So anyway, my whole point being is that for my children, I want you to be smart about your money. Okay, hopefully daddy will be practicing this with you as you get older. You're small now, so it's kind of hard to do to a degree, but the older you get, practicing things like, now most people nowadays don't really have checkbooks, but to see what our budget looks like, to say, a big thing that Dave Ramsey and a lot of people point out is that for a lot of your millionaires, they may not be billionaires or high up in the millions like, some entertainer or something. For your millionaires, they are typically living below the amount of money they make, right? So, for example, when the recession hit back, I think it was 08, 09, I asked my father, how did so many people like lose homes and all this kind of stuff and lose their money? And he was like, well, these are even people who were, very successful, like doctors and on and so on. And he was like, well, honestly, some people that when they make money, even if they start making really good money, let's say they, made 100,000 a year or whatever, they start living up to that 100,000, right? So they have the house and the car, so everything they have, they own, all the bills they pay and stuff like that will equal up about to, what they would bring home from what they got paid. And this may not have been specifically what my father was saying, but I think this is kind of the gist of it. And so then he would say, let's say they got a raise, okay? So then they got a raise. Let's say, I'm just going to just throw a number out there. Let's say they got bumped up from 100,000 to 150,000, $200,000 or something like that, right? Then instead of saying, hey, we know that we can live, we can get our essentials, needs, maybe even some wants, with the 100,000 we're making. Now we're making an extra, let's just say extra 50,000, extra 100,000. We could use that money and pay off debt. Well, instead of people doing that, they will go ahead and spend up to that amount of money. Oh, I'm making 200,000 now, so I'm gonna get that extra car that I wanted, or extra extension to the house, or something to that effect. So the thing is, I want to say to my children, Elijah and Elena, to all of you out there, be smart about your money. You don't have to live up to what you're making. If you know that you bring home 70, 80,000, but you can live off of 50,000, 40,000 a year, live off to 40,000, live off to 50,000. Be smart about your money. Motivation.